It's definitely a dream come true. I think with anybody that grew up listening to Judas Priest or that was my favorite band, and that's all I listened to. So to have an opportunity to be flown to England and audition for Judas Priest was something that you just grow up dreaming about. It's like a fairy tale come true, but it's definitely pretty amazing stuff.
You didn't apply for the job. Tell me how you got in touch with those guys.
Well, I tried to apply for the job. I had a friend that knew somebody else that had a friend who knew somebody else that worked with some company, and they knew a secretary there, and they tried to send it out. One of those stories, but that didn't work. So I was doing a Judas Priest tribute band called British Steel. We're on the road. My last show with this British Steel, some friends of mine came out and videotaped the show and told me, listen, I'm going to get this to Judas Priest, and you're going to be the new singer. And I said, okay, sure, all right. And they did just that. A year later, they gave the tape to Scott Travis, who was out in the area at that time, and he was coming over to England to do some drum work for the new album, and brought it over with him and gave it to Glenn and KK and Ian, and they watched it and called me that night, and within 2 days I was being flown to England, so that quick.
Did you believe it when you first got the phone call?
Oh yeah, I definitely did, because the girls are pretty trustworthy, and I know them real well, good friends, and I didn't talk to them for about a year probably, or at least, and to get that phone call. And just knew it right when they told me. I knew it was true. There was no doubt about it. So it's exactly how it happened.
When you first heard the new material, what did you think about the style that Judas Priest have taken?
I thought it was great. Judas Priest, the reason why they were my favorite band was because they were really versatile, and they changed throughout the time, and didn't change to really go with what was going on all the time. They just kind of did it. They progressed in their music and their career and did it. And when I heard the album, it really was a great shock, and that it's exactly what I would want to do music-wise. It was just perfect. And I remember going home from hearing that when I auditioned, after I auditioned and hearing some of the tracks, I was like, oh man, it was just, thank God I'm going to have stuff to work with that's going to be typical Priest. It went from Painkiller to Jugualtor, and in between there should have been 2 albums released, and there wasn't. So it's really a natural progression. If you listen to it, it's like listening to Painkiller compared to Point of Entry. That would be probably about the same type of time schedule, or comparing it to Screaming for Vengeance. It's a big difference with those albums. So, and there's 2 albums in between. So it's exactly. I don't. Some people say it's heavy, but listen to the Painkiller album and then sit down and think about it. 2 albums in between there, I think it would be about exactly right on schedule.
Did you have much influence on the album?
A little bit, but the songs are written. Glenn and KK had already written them. So, but I got to go in. Obviously, I had influence on. You can hear vocally. There's a lot of different singing styles than there ever was before, and the reason is like I had a range where I could go all the way down and sing something that's almost like a death metal underneath, like an undertone. Really, it wasn't like a major. it's still there, but there's a normal part over top of it, and then there's a high part, and then there's there's every singing style, So I put all the characters, my own characters, in there itself. I always call them characters because that's the best thing about singing. You can have be your own little characters at a different moment in the song and do whatever you want character-wise. So instead of voices, characters seem to fit the songs better.
I guess all the lyrics were written when you got involved with Judas Priest. Do you have any problem with singing lyrics that other people have written?
No, not at all. Glenn wrote great lyrics on this album. And he's written a lot of songs in the past, lyric-wise. He's always written the songs. KK had always written the songs in Judas Priest. But he, Ripper and Running Wild and, just several songs that Glenn's always written. So and he writes great lyrics, and it was easy to sing. You know, I mean, you know what? I don't know. It just everything just came together when you go in there. It wasn't that difficult. It felt natural. You know, to sing these songs, I didn't have to push and become anybody else but myself. So, and the lyrics just flowed right out, and they were great lyrics. And I mean, Brain Dead, the lyrics in that song, and people look at the titles and stuff, but Brain Dead's a great song. I mean, it's, you know, to read, people just sit down and read these lyrics, and they're all different. You know, abductors, you know, an alien abduction, just every little bit here and there, typical Priest.
Okay. Do you think you will contribute much on the next album? Are you a songwriter?
Well, definitely. We're really looking forward to doing that. You know, Glenn and KK always say it's going to be Downing, Tipton, and Owens from now on. You know, writing, and it's a great feeling. You know, when we're together, we're just so much of a team and a friendship working there. It's really easy. You know, and so we just think of that next album. I mean, first of all, we're thinking about rehearsing and how it feels in there, and we can't wait to get on the stage and do it live. I mean, so you can imagine what we feel like for the next album.
Have you started preparing the forthcoming tour, picking out songs and stuff like that? Will you be a part of the picking out process?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, we were just doing that Thursday night, I believe it was. I lose all track of time. I keep thinking it was last night. Days just running to another. But yeah, it's a fun process because you got all these albums and all these songs, and you got to sit there and try to dwindle it down to 25 or 30 or whatever. I probably 25 songs or so, you know. And we probably make a list of about 50 to start with, and we're going, okay, and then we're leaving out songs. It's going to be hard, you know. We have a big list right now that we're working on, and a couple weeks we're going to get together and start, you know, pounding them out and playing them and really be ready. But we all sat there and thought of them. It's still hard. I'm still sitting here thinking of this list we made. It took about 2 sides of a piece of paper, and it was like, oh my God, I got to work on all those. You can't, and we're scratching them off. We're going, okay, well, man, we want to do this, but I don't think we're going to be able to. So we all have the input on that.
I guess the other guys, they've picked out songs a lot of times, and there are a lot of tracks that you have to play. Did you pick out any songs that they wouldn't think of anyway?
No, I think they picked out songs that they wouldn't think of, really, because of a fresh guy. I'm all pumped up, ready to sing. So I said, you know what, you guys just pick out anything you want, and I think they put a few here and there, but no, we know. It's hard because you want to do that, but there's so many songs that there's only a few that you can do that with. You know, you can. I mean, I say I would love to do "Cheater" off Rock-a-Rolla, you know, just to do it nowadays and play that song. But you got so many songs to do per night. You gotta pick them wisely, you know. But we are gonna be doing "Beyond the Realms of Death" and you know, "Sinner" and "Painkiller" and "Victim of Changes," "Ripper." You know, we'll be doing all the classics like that. So
is there a particular Judas Priest era that you like better than the others?
I probably like this era a little better than any of them. I would have to go with, you know. I enjoyed Priest throughout. You know, I had, obviously my favorite album now is Jugualtor, I'd have to say, but before that I had 2 favorites, and it would be Painkiller and Sad Wings of Destiny. So it kind of shows you that I just listened to all the eras, and it was great. Priest was Priest, and it was the best thing because you could put any album on, and it was a little bit different. And there's not many bands you can do that with. Any bands always sounded exactly the same, but Priest, you know, they got away with doing that little change here and there.
I guess almost all vocalists taking over after a very famous and popular vocalist get this question: Is it hard to take over another person's place who has been so popular as Rob Halford was? I think
it's you know, it's not going to be that hard for me. I mean, it will be hard, but not me feeling that way. I think more the public's thinking it's going to be hard for me, you know, and they're ready. You know, some are ready to see me fail, or some, you know, some maybe are there with open arms welcoming me. But I'm just going to go out and do the best I can. You know, I had a goal when I was growing up in the metal scene in my area that I wanted to be the best singer in the area. You know, that was my goal. And, you know, now I guess I have a bigger area to be the best singer of, and that's what I'm going to try to do, is be the best metal singer there is, you know. I just worry about myself, not who sang before me. Or, you know, I'll get up and sing classic Priest songs because I love them and I'm a huge fan, and I worry about me and Judas Priest. That's it.
The listeners of Metal Express have heard an album with Winter's Bane, your old band. Did you sing in Winter's Bane until you got this phone call from Judas Priest?
No, I actually quit that a few years before that. I actually started the Judas Priest tribute band I was in because of Winter's Bane. We had that album out. It was out in Germany, and not really in the States that much. Japan had it also, I believe, but couldn't get shows, so I did that band, and then it just became hard. You know, you're an original band, and you know you're not going to make it in it, so you just kind of start arguing, and you know, it didn't work out, and left. So, I mean, great guys. I mean, we're friends now, and you know, it was a fun thing.